Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unhack compelling sources and extract the most vital insights. We aim to keep you informed, maybe surprise you, and hopefully keep you hooked along the way.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're diving into something really fascinating. It's a concept from Nikki Erlick's science fiction novel, The Measure. Came out in 2022.
Yes. The Measure. It kicks off with such a striking premise, doesn't it?
It really does. So imagine this. You wake up one morning, business as usual, except there's this small wooden box on your doorstep.
Right. And it's not just you, it's everyone. Every single adult on the planet gets one.
Exactly. All at once. And on the box, in your own language, it says, "The measure of your life lies within."
Chilling. Right. So you open it up. What do you find?
A piece of string.
What?
Just the string. But the length of that string, it tells you exactly how long your life will be.
It's such a powerful thought experiment.
Totally. And our mission today isn't just to, summarize the plot. We really want to explore the depth of this idea. How does this one thing ripple through everything? Society, relationships, personal choices.
And we want to leave enough mystery, enough questions unanswered, that you'll feel compelled to pick up the book yourself. It really makes you think.
Definitely. And it clearly struck a chord right away. It got nominated for the Goodreads Choice Award in 2022.
Yeah, for both Best Sci-Fi and Best Debut Novel. That's pretty impressive for a first book. Shows it resonated.
So let's talk about that initial shock. This wasn't some isolated event. The boxes appeared everywhere.
Simultaneously. From, as the book says, suburban doorsteps to desert tents. Truly global.
And the immediate question for everyone is huge. Do you open it?
Exactly. That first, intensely personal choice. And the reactions are all over the place, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Some people just rip it open instantly. They need to know.
Others absolutely refuse.
Yeah.
Terrified. Or maybe they just don't want that knowledge hanging over them.
The book calls it a collective frenzy. Humanity just grappling with this completely unprecedented situation.
And what I think is so clever, so effective, is that the author, Erlic, she doesn't get bogged down on the why.
Right. No explanation for where the boxes came from or who sent them. It's almost irrelevant.
It pivots immediately to the human element. How do we react? How does this change us? It becomes this incredible character study.
That choice tells you a lot about the book's focus, doesn't it? It's not hard sci-fi about aliens or technology.
Not at all. It's about us, psychology, society. What happens when, one of life's biggest unknowns suddenly becomes known, or at least knowable?
It really makes you think about how much we rely on not knowing, how much our lives are built around that uncertainty.
Precisely. And the way Erlic explores this is through multiple viewpoints. It's a character-driven novel.
How many perspectives are there?
8. 8 different people, diverse lives, all reacting to this same event. Their stories start separately, but then they begin to intertwine.
Okay, so give us a feel for some of these characters.
Well, there's Nina and Maura. Their relationship is really central, a very moving love story. And they face tough questions because of the strings, about their future together.
Makes sense. Who else?
There's Nina's sister, Amy. She's a teacher. So we see the impact on kids, on education, which is fascinating.
Oh, interesting.
Then you have Hank and Ben. They meet in a support group, specifically for people dealing with their string knowledge. A unique kind of bond forms there.
A support group for your lifespan. Wow.
Yeah. And Anthony, he's a politician. His story shows the wider political fallout, how this gets exploited.
I can imagine.
And we also follow Jack and Javier, 2 soldiers. Their perspective brings in questions about duty, career, risk, especially when you know how much time you might have left.
So it covers a lot of ground through these different lives.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the way their paths cross, the connections that emerge, is very skillfully done.
And I heard there's another romance woven in, something about letters.
Yes. Without giving too much away, there's this lovely, quite touching connection that develops through anonymous letters. It adds another layer of emotion.
Okay, so through these characters, we see the personal impact, but what about the bigger picture, the societal changes?
That's where it gets really thought-provoking and maybe a bit disturbing. A new social division springs up almost instantly.
Based on the strings.
Exactly. Short stringers and long stringers. And with that division comes a whole new kind of prejudice.
Ugh, of course. Humans find a way, don't they?
It's kind of chilling how quickly it happens. This clear metric suddenly exists, and empathy takes a back seat to, perceived value or utility.
And this has real-world effects for the short stringers.
Absolutely. Very practical, very harsh consequences. They struggle to mortgages, loans, even adopt children.
Because banks and agencies see them as risky investments?
Pretty much. Companies hesitate to hire or train them. Why invest in someone who won't be around long? It throws a harsh light on how society values people based on longevity or potential future output.
It creates an instant underclass based on this biological data point.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the government responses, they vary, but many are unsettling.
Like what?
Some countries demand disclosure. You have to tell them your string length. Some even want unopened boxes returned.
Taking away the choice entirely.
Right. Others start barring short stringers from certain jobs, government, military. The book calls it depressingly realistic.
Yeah, you can unfortunately picture that happening.
Yeah.
And politicians using it.
Oh, yeah. Some characters definitely leverage the fear and division around the strings for their own game. Classic demagoguery, just with a new twist.
So it affects everything. Politics, economics, and personal relationships must get incredibly complicated, too.
Immensely. The book really delves into that. If you're a couple, and one has a short string, one has a long one, what do you do? Do you stay together?
That's a heavy question.
And what about having kids? If you know your time is limited, then there's the privacy aspect. Who do you tell? Your partner, your family, your boss, the government.
So many layers of ethical dilemmas.
It explores them all with a lot of nuance and sensitivity.
Where is the story mainly set? Does it feel very American or more global?
The main focus is on America, New York, Washington, D.C., so you get a deep dive into how that specific society reacts. But there are brief glimpses of other places, like China and North Korea, hinting at how different systems, different cultures are handling this unprecedented situation.
Right. Okay, let's just pause for a second here. I mean, the world Erlic builds is just so detailed, isn't it? You can really feel the weight of these decisions.
You absolutely can. It's incredibly immersive.
So if you're listening and you're as intrigued as we are about how these people navigate this completely new reality, how society bends and sometimes breaks under the strain, well, you really should read the book.
Yeah, what's so fascinating is how it makes you confront your own feelings about mortality, about knowing versus not knowing. It's powerful stuff. If you want to explore these dilemmas further, you can find a link to By the Measure right there in the episode description.
So picking back up, at its core, the book keeps asking you, the reader, that question, what would you do?
And it shows the whole spectrum. People who open immediately, people who swear they never will.
People whose boxes get opened for them, which is another violation.
Right. Or partners who initially agree not to look, but then one changes their mind. It covers all these complex human reactions.
It forces that self-reflection. And like we said, the book never gives you the easy answer about where the strings came from.
Nope. It leaves that open, which I think is brilliant, actually. It lets you focus on what really matters.
Which is?
The message seems to be pretty clear. A good life isn't about how long it is. It's about how you live the time you have. It's about choice, about agency, even within these strange new limits.
And despite the potential for darkness in the premise, there's hope in there too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Lots of it. You see people banding together, fighting the discrimination, supporting each other. It shows that resilience.
And the impact of the short stringers.
That's a key point. People with short strings often have profound positive impacts on those around them. Their lives might be shorter, but they're shown to be incredibly meaningful, often because they live with such intention.
That's a powerful counter-narrative to the prejudice.
Definitely. And for some characters, knowing actually brings a strange kind of peace. It lets them live fully, without regrets, tie up loose ends, say goodbye properly.
It removes the uncertainty, allowing for focus.
Exactly. The book kind of nudges us all to maybe live as if we had a short string. You know, that old saying, tomorrow is promised to no one.
It really drives that point home. Live now.
Precisely.
So just to wrap things up, The Measure by Nikki Erlick, it's got this incredible concepts, these really compelling characters, and it asks some huge questions about life, time, and what truly matters.
It's definitely life-affirming, I'd say, despite the premise. Poignant, thought-provoking, and yeah, a really impressive debut.
It's one of those books that stays with you, for sure. Makes you think.
It absolutely does. You'll find yourself pondering the what-ifs long after you've finished the last page. How would I react? What would change?
And here's where it gets really interesting. This book will undoubtedly make you reflect on your own life, your own choices. How do you measure your time? Find out for yourself. Check the episode description one more time for that link to By the Measure.
And I think this quote from the book captures its hopeful spirit beautifully. Se el per sempre non esiste, lo inventeremo noi.
Which means?
If forever doesn't exist, we'll invent it for ourselves.
Wow, that's the perfect note to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.